two before the one. Wisdom is water, I'm the daughter of the cannon fodder. Applied knowledge and insight, a born scholar. Look like a martyr to marauders like Tartar. Wise owl slaughter, whack MCs order applauder. Original woman, decipher the womb. Crown of creation, fruit of the planet, earth and the moon.
Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to another episode of Wise the Dome. Today, man, I have a very, very special guest. We've been working on this one for a minute. I'm definitely glad to have the God come through. K Bourne, I appreciate you for coming through, Lord.
Peace, God. You already know, God. Thanks for having me. Indeed, so.
Indeed, God. It's truly an honor. Let me holler at you though, because we was building offline about the science of being healthy. You know, we have lost a lot of gods and earths and family members and just people, and MCs, like everybody's returning to the essence at an early age and with things
at a terrific speed.
Yeah, things that could be prevented. You know what I'm saying? So we're definitely gonna build about the science of just staying healthy on this show. And so I want to start off with what inspired you personally to become a vegetarian, and like how has it impacted your own health and well-being?
Indeed, so God, good question, God. Well, with me, my journey started, back in Born Wisdom. My educator, Justice Understanding on Law, he was vegetarian. Mm-hmm. So he had a book called African Holistic Health. Mm-hmm. So I was like, yo, what's this? So I started reading it. He's like, nah, God, you need your own copy. You know what I mean? So they had this spot out here in Philly called Hakeem's Bookstore on 52nd Street. Went and grabbed the copy. Yo, God, I read it the same day, the whole book. I was into it. I'm like, yo, I got to do this. So like a year later, my old earth had to go to the hospital for cancer. You know what I mean? She returned in Born Culture. So my old earth returned. I was like, damn, I really got to do this. I lost my physical to a stroke. My physical to Hakeem Allah. Yeah, he returned from a stroke. And it just seemed like it just kept happening. But I'm going to give you a little history of me. Like I said, I've been vegetarian since 92. But that don't mean I wasn't still getting it in, God.
Right.
It's this thing in the nation where it's controversial, but I'm going to go ahead and build on it. We got this thing where we say we ain't holy. You know what I mean? So, we drink, smoke, do our thing, pop pills. Some cats might deal with the under. This is not something that we advocate to the babies. You know what I'm saying? But it's something, let's just keep it a buck, God. This is something that happens in the nation.
Yeah, facts.
It's real. You know what I mean? And when we had brothers return, we just think it's out of nowhere. Like, damn, God, I didn't even know the God was sick, whatever. You know what I mean? But these things takes its toll on your physical body. The only way to master it is to leave it alone, God.
Indeed.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like Allah said. With me, I wanted to play both sides of the fence, God. I had one foot in the vegan vegetarian world, another foot in, God, we smoking it quietly, we drinking mad shots of Henny. Then I was in the hip hop scene. You know what I mean? Right. I was, I worked with Ghoul from Gangstar, you know what I'm saying? Peace be upon him. I worked with his label. And so, you touring and doing shows and drinking and smoking, and God, it just takes its toll on your physical composition, God.
Right.
So that's what originally inspired me, God, was Justice Understanding, that book, African Holistic Health, Dr. Laila Africa. You know what I mean? It's a classic book.
Most definitely, God. That's
you know what I mean?
That kind of whenever you became vegetarian, you were I know you said you had one foot in, one foot out at one point. You were you, it's like on the road as far as doing the music thing, I know that was pretty tough as far as trying to find food that was, like vegetarian food, I guess at that time, especially because it wasn't any, you can go any major city now and you'll, have vegetarian restaurants and things like that. But in Born Wisdom, it wasn't like that.
Well, in Born Wisdom, God, it was this in Germantown Avenue in Philly. It was this low vegan spot. It wasn't even a vegan spot. We wasn't even using the term vegan back then, God. Keep it a buck, God. It was a vegetarian spot, and it also sold herbs and stuff. So you would go there and get the, the rice milk, and God, they ain't even put the milk in the refrigerator back then, God.
Wow,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
And the shit was wild nasty. You know what I mean? Like now they got shit that tastes just like meat and all that. But that's another thing we got to build on too, God, because a lot of the replacement foods is just trying to basically get that bag, God. Let's keep it a bang. They want to get that bag. So they want to make something that tastes and look just like meat. They put the beet juice in there to make it look like it's bleeding and all that. And put chemicals and stuff in there to really get you addicted to it.
I read an article one time about that. What is it? The Beyond,
Beyond,
like it has so much
Impossible
sodium
and all that.
Yeah.
So much sodium, and that was an issue with me with the the high blood pressure. That was another issue why I had to go plant-based.
Right.
You know what I mean? So can you imagine you backstage and I'm backstage with Exact and all them, and where the brown water at? Shots of Henny and all that. And they like passing it to me, and I'm like, nah, I'm peace. They like, yo, type time you on? Come on, God. Stop playing, God. Come on, man. So it was like they was making jokes, vegan man, veggie man, rabbit food and all that, And I went through my trials and tribulations with it, God. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I'm like, damn, you know what, God? One bone ain't gonna hurt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Smoking a little equal ain't gonna hurt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I eat a little Beyond Burger, it ain't gonna hurt because it reminds me of meat. It's better than eating the meat. You know what I mean? But it's actually not. Like right now, I'm like 70% raw with my diet.
Wow.
I eat cooked food like maybe twice, 3 times a week or whatever. But that's the main issue, God. The issue is, like you said, the sodium, and brothers returning, man. Like brothers and sisters, God, gods and earths returning. Prominent people, and we're not just talking about no regular, Joe Neckbone. God, we talking about, and I'm not going to say names, but we talking about the official. You know what I mean? Like pioneers, man.
Most definitely.
You know what I mean?
And like it seems like like you said, it kind of feels like sometimes it happens out of nowhere. You wake up one day and you get that news, man. It's like, damn. And I'm glad you kind of brought up the like, I guess, the imitation meat or whatever, because that's big. Like you said, that's big business right now. Like
big business, God.
Yeah, and I noticed how they even kind of use trick knowledge with the rappers. Like people don't know, I guess. It's hard to understand unless you really studying it, the difference between, when it says organic, is it coming in green, it'll come in, you know what I'm saying? They have this green packaging to make you feel like
it's right and exact. They throw the stick on there.
Right.
You know what I mean? And also, God, see, we can't marry certain ways of thought. What I basically mean is, we got How to Eat to Live. You got to look at when that book was written.
Right.
And where we at now with the food and how they, harvesting the food and the GMOs and all that. Like, we're dealing with a whole different animal right now, God. So back then, you could probably eat a little lamb or, you know what I'm saying, eat a little fish and be peace.
Well, even during that time, like even the time when fast food first came out, a lot of them was using real beef, though, real products.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, real beef, real fish, you know what I'm saying? Wild caught. Now they got these farm raised. They got this meat glue. My God, it's out of control, God. It's really out of control. And God, I actually lost like 47 pounds, God.
Wow.
Wow. God, I was running around, and the doctor he's like, yo, your blood pressure's out of control. You know what I mean? But he never did the knowledge to my diet, though. He never even asked me what I'm eating. He just put me on pills off rip.
Right. That's crazy, because like that should be the first thing. And I've heard several people say that, like even my own family, you know what I'm saying? That should be the first thing that the doctor asks you, is like, what is your diet like? You know what I'm saying?
What's your diet looking like? Yeah.
But instead, they want to keep us on these pills that we have to take forever. Like, like it's funny, like unless you have like some type of condition or something, right? They make it sound like high blood pressure is something that you can't get rid of.
Exactly. Or something that like you was destined to get.
Right.
Because it's genetic.
Right. Oh, especially with original people, right?
Yeah, with original people, they say, oh, there's nothing you can do about it. It's in the genes and it's hereditary. But actually, what's hereditary is the way we eat.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Your old earth, your grand old earth,
Mm-hmm.
it went down to each generation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you eating bacon with the nitrates, and I'm talking about even turkey bacon,
Right.
even beef bacon with the nitrates in it. And I mean, all this stuff, God, is like, come on, man, the devil taught us how to eat the wrong foods, God. Once you knowledge your own cipher, you know that we got to eat the right foods.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, real talk, God. So moving, when we look at the community as a whole, why is it important for, our community to begin to adopt, healthier lifestyles, including, plant-based diets and regular exercise and things like that?
Yeah, it's important because we got to look at the food deserts, that we live in. We live in food deserts, God. You know what I mean? When I moved out of the hood to the sticks, you got Whole Foods over here, Mom and Pop's health store over there, Starbucks over there. You go in the hood, you know what I'm saying? They got the poppy stores on every corner, the Chinese stores on every corner. And they selling the, stuff with wild sodium in it.
Right.
When we from the hood, man, oodles, we all grew up with oodles and noodles, man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That was the go-to thing to get, oodles and noodles. But you gotta put the butter in there, you put the packet in there. The packet got wild sodium in it. You know what I'm saying? Then you mixing it up. Like we used to be gourmet with the oodles and noodles, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then eventually it catches up with you, y'all.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you say to yourself, damn, how did I develop hypertension? You know what I mean? These things that we got to build on, because God, we can't escape health and economics, God. Those are two things. I say health first, because without your health, the economics ain't gonna mean shit, God.
Right.
You know what I mean? So health and economics, God. When I grew up, God, it was just like, yo, God, now it's 120. That's it. Know your lessons. You know what I mean? And it wasn't like, okay, God, know your lessons. We got to eat better. Let's get the economics together. Now, cipher, God, it was just like, no 120. We was teenagers, obviously, God. Yeah. We was mad young. But the point is, it's important for us to tell the babies, you know what I mean, that this candy and stuff, that they're eating, God, like, they marketing this shit to our children.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying, God? And even if you're on the right path, you take your seed to the ground on Earth Lab, and you know what I'm saying?
Reset, like what you just did at home.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So
I kind of wanted to ask you, God, for those that may not understand what it is. What is a food desert? Because and how does that specifically impact our neighborhoods? Because I remember certain parts of, like, when I was in Texas, certain parts of Fort Worth, and you would just ride, like in the black neighborhoods, right? You would ride and ride and ride, and I'm talking about nothing healthy, no healthy options whatsoever. Just
that's by design, God.
Yeah, by design, right? They make
by design, God.
They make it harder for our people to find healthy options.
Yeah.
And whenever you go into these other neighborhoods, I mean, you got smoothie shops, you got all kinds, all kind of stuff everywhere, God.
You got all kinds of stuff, God. And you know what's crazy, God? Like even you go, like, you know what I'm saying, to Brooklyn, you go to Bed-Stuy and places like that. Once you start seeing those shops pop up, God, that's not for us, God. That's gentrification.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's for that land grab, God. So, you know what I mean? I was in Bed-Stuy. I'm looking around. I'm like, I see coffee shops and vegan spots and all that. I'm like,
damn, wow. Ain't that some shit though, God? Like, there is a connection between healthy living and gentrification. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because they want to accommodate, and that's why they market, God, all this bad stuff to us.
Right.
Whether it be the music, the foods, and it's all connected, God. If you look at the pharmaceutical companies, God, which is a $1 billion industry, God, the bag is in the medication. The bag ain't in you getting healthy.
Right. Oh yeah, fact.
You see what I'm saying? Like I had to go extreme to get off them pills, God. Like word is born. I was on them shits for 3.5 years. They was giving me all type of problems, God. All type of problems.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And needless to say, my earth at the time wasn't happy.
Right.
I'm gonna just put it that way, God. You can read between the lines, God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Read between the lines, man. But I got off them shits, man. All praise to do to Allah, God. I got off them shits, man. And if you really look at the dietary laws that the father broke down on the Otisville interview, he said in the interview, God, because a lot of guys be like, well, we don't supposed to be vegetarians. Yeah, that's when you cutting up, God.
Right.
Because if you drinking, don't be no vegetarian.
Because you're defeating the purpose.
Yeah, you need some meat to soak up all that alcohol.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But if you ain't drinking heavy and all that, God, especially nowadays, like I said, this ain't 67, God.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's 2023, God. So, the meats and stuff that was out, when the law was out here, it's different.
Very different.
Very different, God.
Have you seen any of those documentaries that show like the conditions of these, like, I don't even want to call them animal farms because it ain't really a farm. It's like they packed up like sardines and
Earthlings is one of my favorite ones. I saw Earthlings about 10 years ago. It blew my mind.
I've seen that one, God.
I'm gonna send you the link, God. Earthlings. Okay. But a lot of people don't even want to watch it. That's how demonic it is, man. And a lot of them animals be like having cancer, and they be having pus, and we just cut that part off.
Right. Oh, man.
And let me tell you something, man. One of my homies used to work at the slaughterhouse. He said, I laugh when dudes say they don't eat pork, we eat ground meat. I said, what do you mean by that? He said, man, they don't waste no meat. He said they grind all that. It might be 70% ground turkey, but the other 30% is going to be pork or beef or whatever they put it. They're not wasting it.
Right.
So they dump it all in there. So you're not just getting pure, you know what I mean? Or this ground turkey or this ground beef. Nah, man, they putting that pork in there too.
Wow. See,
you know what I'm saying?
That's crazy, right?
They demonic, Lord.
Yeah, and God, see, that's the thing.
Demonic, God.
It's not like it's no, you go straight, God, but it's not like they have given anybody a reason to feel like their ways and actions are ethical as far as
exactly,
you know what I'm saying, this industry goes. I was thinking the other day, like, I wonder how many burgers, like, on average, let's say Burger King sells, right, a day. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no way in hell there's enough cattle in America to supply that need.
It's not, God. They're 100% weak and wicked.
Right.
You know I mean? Hey, that's not wild, keeping the better laws of Islam, God. It ways and acts like those snake of the grafted type. So whatever they got to do to pump the drugs, whatever got to do to make it the cow grow bigger, they want to get more bang.
They stretching it like dope. You know what I'm saying?
They stretching it, yeah. Right. That's a good way to put it, God. They stretching it like dope, God. You know what I mean? And we just got to be more informed consumers, God. Like you said, we got to teach the babies, God,
right?
Because the wrong foods, we know it's not just physical foods; it's also mental foods. You know what I mean? So, I mean, everybody pretty much know how I give it up nowadays. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you know what's funny, God? Some brothers will bring up, "Oh man, we should do this together, we should do that together." I never said I was holy.
Right.
But I am righteous.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
God, I'm gonna keep it a stack with you, God. If I would have made these moves, I might not be building with you right now, God. I might have been one of them gods, peace be upon them. Damn, peace, rule our power to the God K born. Like I'm telling you, it was that serious.
See, but all praise to the God, and I'm obviously we glad that you're here, but that took a lot of self-determination. You know what I'm saying, and the ability to do the knowledge and what is right and exact for you. You know what I'm saying? Like
actual fact.
That's one thing that on this journey when it comes to whatever healthy diet that we choose or working out, like it takes discipline. You know what I'm saying?
It takes a lot of discipline, God.
Yeah, because you're gonna be in situations to where like you'll be tested, and that kind of goes with what I wanted to ask next. Being adopting a healthier lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
As original people, you kind of alluded to it earlier, we have been passed down a lot of cultural traditions that aren't necessarily healthy. As somebody who is living a healthier lifestyle, like what was it like to, navigate a lot of those cultural traditions and expectations that might not be that you were leaving alone. Because it's one thing, like, to, let's say, might be a holiday or something, and then you're going to check your people out, and it's, okay, that's Rakim, okay, that's K-Boy, they don't eat pork. But it's one thing to say, yo, I don't eat meat at all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you. It ain't easy, God. I mean, soul food, that's what we grew up on.
Right.
When I started doing it, I mean, obviously, God, when you introduce them to the things that remind them of what they like, they're going to gravitate towards that first. But then when you tell them, okay, it's the next level. You can't eat all the soy. You can't eat all the processed. Because that's what it is, guys. These veggie burgers and all this processed.
Right.
I'm from Philly, God. So, cheesesteaks is big in Philly. You know what I'm saying? So the vegan cheesesteaks, like the vegan, it don't even sound right, a vegan cheesesteak.
Nah.
You know what I mean? But that's what I was eating, God, because it got me off the meats.
Right.
You know what I mean? But, I met a sister in Philadelphia. You know what I mean? Her name is Sister Beverly. She was the Philadelphia representative for Dr. Sabi. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I actually met Dr. Sabi through her. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so you got a chance to build
back in 97. Yeah, I met him in 97.
Wow, God. And
she said, brother, you got to get off the alcohol. Got to get off the starches. You got to do that. And I'm just like, yo, this is too extreme and all that. And, so she put me on the sea malls. This back before everybody was selling sea malls. Everybody was a sea malls expert. And Sabi said, Irish malls. I was like, and I know that from, like, the Caribbean cast, the Jamaican cast, Irish malls. But I'm like, wow. So I was on the sea malls. I was doing
that's
the herbs.
Way before it became popular.
Way before. I'm talking about 97, girl. You know what I mean? But the reason I stopped was because I was like, yo, I'm out of pocket. I'm taking sea malls, and then I'm getting with the guards, and I'm drinking shots of Henny, and I'm wilding. You know what I'm saying? I'm like this. So I just stopped. It was. I'm saying I don't advocate just stopping altogether.
Right.
However, you got to make a decision. You know what I mean? Do I want to be healthy, or do I want to be what? Social. You know what I mean? Social means to advocate society, men, or group of men for one common cause. What's the common cause, though, God? That's what we got to ask ourselves, God.
Right.
Listen, God, I'm going to be totally candid with you, God. Your social life is going to take a hit. Because, man, God, I went to places where I couldn't eat nothing on the menu. Family houses, like, you got an orange in there, you got an apple, you got water. Like, I mean, it was that bad.
I didn't even think about that aspect of it, God, because that's real.
God. Yeah, God, you got to definitely, learn how to meal prep. See, with me too, God, let me tell you something, God. I know every vegan spot in Brooklyn and Queens and North Philly and South Philly, Delaware, whatever, like, and but after a while, you can like, yo, I gotta learn how to cook, man. I can't keep spending $40, $50 a day in a raw vegan spot. You know what I mean? But yeah, God, it's not as easy as people think, but it's also not as hard as people try to make it out to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that kind of I was going to ask you about some of the challenges, but you kind of brought it up. One of the challenges that I hear a lot of people talk about is the fact that it's a, I would say, healthier lifestyle sometimes can cost, right? As far as, how much gold you got to spend to maintain what you're doing. And, it's obviously is no coincidence that the stuff that's not healthy for you, you know what I'm saying, is easily accessible and cheap, right? But what are some of the other, challenges you think that Black people specifically who are attempting to, adopt a vegetarian or vegan lifestyle, or even just a healthier way of living, what are some of the things that Black people specifically you feel, you know what I'm saying, will have to face in doing so?
Yeah, I'm gonna say the main thing, God, is the stereotypes. Like culturally, you know what I mean? Oh man, this that white people food. Oh, this ain't seasoned right. You got to take the salt shaker and put mad salt on it, because that's what we used to doing. So culturally, it's not really, I'm gonna keep it a buck, it's not popular to eat healthy as being original people. So, one of the challenges is you stepping outside the box and saying, you know what, my health come before being popular or my family tradition. You know what I mean? Because, a lot of our older people, they would actually feel away, God. They will actually get offended if you don't eat their food.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you gotta
That's
say,
still
listen,
a thing,
no
God.
disrespect. Yeah, you gotta say no disrespect. Like normally with me, once I say the health issues, they pretty much they okay, we give them a pass. Okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, the hypertension, I can't, they're okay. But if I just flat out just feel like, I don't want to feel like I'm insulting anyone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I do want to say this too, God. For all those who saying, I ain't trying to be no vegan, I'm not saying start out being a vegan. Take baby steps. You know what I mean? Bake your food instead of frying it. You know what I mean? Like do a little salmon or you know what I'm saying? Like baked chicken instead of the fried chicken.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we got to start somewhere. You know what I mean? But I do advocate a plant-based diet. You know what I'm saying? But I know that's not for everybody. You know what I mean? So I say do the research because the data is out there, man. Like as far as how many people have healed themselves. I mean, I was just with a sister the other day in her 70s. Looked like she was in her 40s.
Wow.
Yeah, in her 70s. She ain't got no cane.
Yeah.
None of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I'm glad you said that, God, because I think now that, we are with the, social media and people that do understand, I guess, the different options out there. And, because right now we have more things made available to us than the past. You know what I'm saying? So there are people that do know what time it is as far as being healthy, who are committed to going to the gym. And you see these people who are 70s and 80s, you know what I'm saying, online, like in the gym, like doing the same thing the young cats is doing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
if not
you don't
better,
have to slow down, is what my point is. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to. I mean, we all lose a step eventually, but you don't have to lose that many steps. You know what I'm saying?
You don't have to lose. I'm gonna keep it a buck. You don't gotta lose any steps at all. Like I'm serious. Like, I mean, you got people that's 114 years old, 96 years old, running marathon. See, they don't tell you this in the media. I can send you all the links. You're like, damn, God, like I never heard of these people.
Right.
They don't want you to hear these people.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they want you on pharmaceutical drugs, God.
Yeah, God, I saw a man in his 70s. Read the article. I'll send it to you after the show. He got his black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu in his 70s, God.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, God. It's just living an active, healthy lifestyle, God.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? Once you start sitting around, then you picking the weight up. You know what I mean? You're not active. You don't have no energy. And then you constantly see, we got all these artificial forms of stimulation, God. You know what I mean? We the highest form of living mathematics on the planet, God. Right. Why we constantly got to have some artificial stimulation?
Yeah, we the ones that's supposed to stimulate matter, right? Like,
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Stimulated.
I stimulate life and matter. Yeah. You know what I mean? So just living out Islam, man, it just being that living example. Because listen, there's a lot of 85s with righteous names running around, bro. Like if you really look at him, like, okay, besides him quoting lesson, what really do you see about this brother or sister,
right, that
would indicate to you that they righteous,
right?
Besides just the talk or putting a flag on.
You know what? I'm glad you said that, God, because because you could tell a lot about somebody by their diet.
Actual fact, God.
You could tell a lot about somebody.
You can see if they take care of themselves. God, I'll give you a perfect example. I remember years ago, we ran up on this cat. God, he was like the nation mascot. He had a universal flag watch, a hat, a chain, 2 different flags. He might have had universal flag drawers on for all I know, man. Man, we was like, peace, God. What lessons you done with, God? Oh, no, it's 120, God. Oh, okay, yeah, What's man's cipher degree in analysis cipher? He didn't know that degree. Okay, God, understand cipher degree, 1 to 40. Didn't know that degree. The power degree in 1 to 10. He didn't know anything, but he had all these trinkets on.
Trinkets, right.
You know what I mean? I mean, you wear your flag on your pedal above your heart, man, but the flag is inside you, man. You got to be a living example of this, God. You know what I mean? And listen, I don't care if it's the Bible, the Quran, 120. Look through there and you'll see where it tell you about food. It talks about food. Right. It tells you the devil taught us how to eat the wrong foods.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? And they was talking about physical first. I mean, obviously, we know how to draw lessons up to where we could say he also taught us the wrong foods could be religion or whatever. But we know and understand that they was talking about pork.
Yeah.
But not just pork. You know what I'm saying?
And because like not too long after that, Elijah wrote How to Eat to Live. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly,
you see that you are, like you said, although we can draw it up to see religion and misinformation and trick knowledge, it's a literal aspect to it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, God.
Which is food.
Actual facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Actual facts, God.
I kind of want to ask you this, God, because it's, you know, like sometimes the interdependence and the connectivity of things is can help people to understand, I guess, the severity of a situation. Whenever we see issues of healthy eating, like how does that like intersect with the broader social justice concerns of Black people, right? Like, you know, we have so many things that we deal with from, you know, just economic situations, police brutality. You know, we have drug addictions in our families. You know, just any institution you want to, you know, point to, there's some inequalities when it comes to original people within it. As far as like how we eat and being healthy, how does that intersect with that?
That's a good question, God, because we're dealing with trauma and we're dealing with, you know, we the highest form of living mathematics on the planet, but economically, socially, we're like the lowest. You know, if you look at any health issue, we always lead it.
Right.
Heart disease, hypertension, diabetes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is something that everybody suffers from if you eat the wrong diet. However, let's be honest, we're the main ones that suffer from these issues.
Facts.
So when it comes to police brutality, when it comes to, you know, just look around, God. Like, you got a church on right here. You got a liquor store over here. You know what I'm saying? Check cash place over here. You know what I mean? So we're not taught economics, how to eat right and exact. I mean, we all grew up on candy, chips, cookies, cakes, pies. Right. So we're not even thinking clearly, God. You know what I'm saying?
God, see, that's the thing. People don't, you know, the science shows that what we eat affects our mood and our thought process.
Actual fact, God.
People don't realize that part of the reason they may be depressed is what they're eating. You know what I'm saying? There's real science behind that. You know, we're the last people in this country that can afford to have prolonged bouts of depression. The shit already tough on us. You know what I'm saying?
It's already tough on us, God. I mean, and I share this with you because, you know, at the end of the day, the main thing that I want people to know is I'm not holy. I didn't grow up this way. The same issues and challenges, because people, they tend to think, oh, well, you just disciplined, or you've been a vegan for how long? No.
Right. You had to work your way to that, God.
Yeah, I grew up in Abbotsford Projects in North Philadelphia. I was born in Richard Allen Projects. My dad was born in Brownsville. So I wasn't in no nice neighborhoods and none of that. At 15-year-old, I got shot in my face twice. I got shot in the back of my head at 15. So that's trauma.
Right. So
I'm going to all type of counselors and all you know what I'm saying, therapists. Here, take these Xanaxes. I was on Xanaxes, y'all. I was popping Xannies. So I'm smoking equality, popping Xannies, and drinking at the same time.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So how can I think clear? And I was a young man at this time.
Right.
So how am I really thinking clear?
Right.
So now if you look at the music, everybody's talking about popping perks and doing this and doing that, and they got access to guns, and you're not thinking clearly. I mean, come on, God. Come on, it's a bad combination, God. It's no secret to why the violence and stuff out here is happening among our youth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, when we was coming up, I'd rather beef on somebody on it might stay on wax. And it's like, okay, this is dope material. This is good hip hop classics.
Right.
Now with the drill music, yo, I'm gonna see you at. Okay, you diss my man. I mean, yo, they disrespecting people's dead.
Yeah.
They going to the grave sites, shoot videos. I mean, they over the top with it, God.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? they're 100% weak and wicked, man. It's like they other than themselves, God.
Yeah, and I think that whole idea of thinking clearly and what we put into our bodies affect that. See, that's what can help make you other than your own self. Those are the wrong foods that make you other than your own self,
Actual
right?
facts, God.
And so I'm glad we're having this conversation, God. One of the things that I hear a lot is like, so I'll during the Canelo fight when he lost to Bivol, he had adopted a vegan diet, right?
And he blamed it. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of the people blamed the vegan diet on him losing, and I guess some people say you may lose power or strength, on a vegan diet. What would you say to people that advocate that?
Yeah, well, first of all, they got vegan bodybuilders.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's a natural source, whatever protein, because they teach that we need animal protein to be strong, but you taking on the physical composition of that animal. Like you're eating an animal that was slaughtered in fear and stress, and now you're eating that animal.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we tend to think that we have to eat an animal to be ferocious or to be, you know what I'm saying, to be tough, or oh man, vegan, you soft.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, come on, man. Troy Washington. It's plenty vegan bodybuilders and things of that nature. So that's really false, man.
Right.
I mean, when I did it, I lost a lot of weight because I had to get the fat off me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm 5'9". That was almost 250.
Right.
That ain't
so that was
man.
Weight that you had to get off.
I had to get that weight off, God. You know what I mean? So once that weight got off, see, it's all about calories, man. You just got to eat more. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Just like you eat more or less when you eat meat, eat more or less on the vegan diet. It's like certain stuff they try to make it seem like it's just impossible, and it's not.
Right. I think that's a lot of the thing, like, like how the lesson said, the devil plants fear in the babies, like they plant fear in adults too with some of
fear in adults as well, God.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
You kind of mentioned earlier in the beginning of the bill about, it's kind of stages, right? Like as far as now you're almost 70% just like raw foods, right?
Yeah.
What was that process like, going from, thinking about vegetarianism, then becoming a vegetarian to almost eating, fully raw meals, 70% of the time?
I mean, the raw foods for me, I just started being around people that was doing it. Just like when you get knowledge of self, you go to the law school in Mecca, the law school in Medina. You know what I'm saying? You go to the street academy in Jersey, street academy in Philly. You want to be around the gods. You want to be around those who know it.
Right.
So I started going to raw vegan cafes, talking to the people there and meeting people and kind of getting in those circles. You know what I mean? God, I had to do a lot of things that was unconventional in this nation, God.
Yeah.
God, listen, I was doing yoga and meditation.
Wow.
That's not something that's
you
know what I mean?
Yeah, we don't really
pushed off.
Yeah, but
yoga,
I'm glad
that's soft. Like what? Meditation, yoga,
see,
mindfulness.
I'm glad you said that, because one of my partners, man, he's a Buddhist, and he'll send me these scientific breakdowns of how meditation is helpful. Then I started adding it to my like before or after my workout or something, maybe, right? Started adding it to my routine, man. Like, I haven't gotten to the point where I can, meditate for hours or anything like that. But sometimes
you don't even have to,
sometimes like 15, 20 minutes is all you need, and I tell people like this, it's like, man, you got a computer, a web browser, like you got, what I'm saying? Google, you got to clear the cache, man, clear the cookies, man. You know what I'm saying?
You got to
put that browsing history out, man. You know what I'm saying?
You got to, man. And man, listen, I read. See, after one of my brothers in Philly, his name is Supreme, one of my big brothers. He said, God, after you now is 120, God, you supposed to read the Bible, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, the Metu Netta. You know what I'm saying? It's different books, different things you got to read.
Right.
You know what I mean? And 120 is your foundation. So you take the best part out of that. I'm not saying you can become a Buddhist. I'm not saying you become any of these things. You know what I'm saying? You know, I just bought the Yoga Sutras, man, and it's just like, it's deep.
Right.
You know, and first as original people, we got to realize that all the above is ours anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They stole that shit from us anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but now it might be, oh, we talking about martial arts, Asians.
Right.
You know what I mean? We talking about meditation. Oh, that's somewhere out in India somewhere. You know, all the above, man. We the original people, man.
Yeah, word is born, God.
You know what I mean? So tapping into that, it shouldn't be something you got to feel weird about.
Nah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree, God. Especially when there's, like I said, there's science that shows and proves the effects. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like it's not pseudo. It ain't spooky. It ain't none of that. You know what I'm saying? This is actual tangible shit that can improve your life. You know what I'm saying? Like
actual fact.
Them monks out there ain't meditating and working out for nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, they definitely not, man. the mind body connection is deep, God. You know what I'm saying? But like you say, God, you just get all the books you can, do all the research, the study you can, and show and prove it. Don't take what I'm saying on face value. You know what I'm saying? I want everybody that's listening to do the knowledge to it. You know what I mean? But I wanted to speak about these things because, you know, it hurts me, man, seeing my brothers return and, you know, and my family members too. I got family members who, you know, would make jokes and stuff about me going vegan and stuff like that. And just lost a cousin, you know, 42 years old, had a massive heart attack. I just went to his janazah not too long ago. You know what I'm saying? I lost two little cousins. Like I said, I lost my physical. You know what I mean? My old king right now is going through some sciences, you know, with his lungs. He smoked cigarettes for 25 years, so his lung collapsed. Kidney issues from drinking. You know what I mean? So these are the things that we have to address. But to answer your question, though, we got to get around the right people, God, the right individuals that's going to motivate you, because this ain't easy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't even look at the basketball game without them pushing alcohol and bad foods and, you know, Doritos and all that stuff. That stuff ain't even food, man. It's like, it's really drugs for real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In a different form. That's all it is drugs.
God, I can't remember whether salt or sugar, but I read something, and like I said, that the shit that I'm quoting is from, you know, scientific articles that it activates the same part of your brain that crack and cocaine and shit. You know what I'm saying?
A couple molecules away from being crack, basically, being cocaine.
Man. Those pleasure centers in your brain begin to crave it. You know what I'm saying? The same way it would crave a drug. So why isn't this considered a drug? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, actual facts. We got to change the narrative, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why when M1 is stick, you know, made, you know what I'm saying, Be Healthy, that song Be Healthy.
Yeah.
That was a big thing, man, because in hip hop, everything negative is being pushed.
Yeah.
It's an agenda. You know what I mean? So you come with something positive, you know what I mean? It ain't gonna be easy to make that shit cool to the youth.
Yeah, what is and I'm glad you mentioned hip hop, God, because I'm actually, you know, I work out to the stick workout 1 and 2, you know what I'm saying? Like that's my workout music, right? But you have Stickman creating a fit hop genre. You got Dead Prez Together, you know, was talking about the Be Healthy. You got Styles P with the Juice Bar. Like, what are your thoughts on, you know,
up the Styles,
on some of these MCs who are, you know what I'm saying?
I'm loving that, man. I'm loving that. Let me tell you something, man. There's no time I'm ever in Brooklyn I don't go down to the Juice Bar on Malcolm X. I always go there, son. I go to the Juice Bar. I support him. I go to Seasons Vegan. Let me tell you something about Stick, you know, man. I went to a Dead Prez show in Philly, a spot called Underground Arts. And you know how you backstage, cats smoking, drinking, doing their thing, getting ready for the show.
Yeah.
Man, they had vegan food and the green drinks catered. You know what I mean? They had, you know what I'm saying, the meditation rugs. I was like, wow, they really like living. This ain't a prop. Like they was living this. That's how they got ready for the show.
Wow.
You know what I mean? They was
most
meditating.
People
They was
either
meditating backstage.
Either drink or smoke some equality or something like that for the show. And
they was,
that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, that's dope. And I was like, wow, you know, that's dope. And even with equality, I mean, we know they got medicinal purposes for it.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
The average person abuse it. You know what I mean? That's a whole nother
you
know what I'm saying, another topic, you know what I mean? But yeah, God, we just gotta, you know, we gotta do better, God. We gotta do better.
No doubt, God.
You know what I mean?
Again, K-Boy, I definitely, you know, we've been working on this one for a minute. I definitely appreciate you coming through.
Indeed, God. Listen, anytime, God, and listen, you know, I don't mind doing another one. We could talk about some other topics, but I definitely want to tap in with the health stuff because of what's been going on lately, God. I mean, God, the past, like I say, power years, well, since the pandemic, you know what I mean? Again, I'm not going to names and all that, but like, you know, we lost a lot of beautiful, you know, brothers and sisters in this nation.
Most definitely.
You know what I mean? I mean, beautiful, you know what I mean, through health issues. So, you know, we got to, you know, start learning about herbs and the science of the body, the science of the mind, and teaching this to the babies. But we got to put it into practice first and foremost.
Most definitely. Most definitely. That's how we show improve. That's the magnetic, God, is whenever they see, because it's kind of like, you know, I remember one time whenever I first got mathematics, somebody asked me, was like, yo, like, it's not making you no money. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the first thing. Like, you know, we've heard that kind of thing before, right? But when
we've heard it before too.
Yeah, but when you show them, but when you begin to show and prove, and your life begin to change, right? You know, that's the money. That's what I could.
That's the money right there. That's the money right there. I mean, listen, man, my physical, he had cars lined up. I mean, he used to sell cars. He had a car lot. Yeah, I'm talking about high-end Mercedes. You know what I'm saying? Maseratis and all that, man. But he returned to the essence. So what is all that? Your family members is fighting over it, or your children got it, or whatever.
Right.
So I'm not saying let's not get the bag, man, but let's get healthy first.
Oh yeah. I mean, most definitely, God. We gotta do both. You know, we gotta, like you said, you mentioned you started off the show saying, yo, our health and our economics is important. You know what I'm saying? And it most definitely is, man. You know, we gotta maintain our food, clothing, and shelter, and have something to be able to pass down to our babies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we got to, God. We got to, God. And we got to make this more accessible and more popular, God. I mean, word is born. I was at an event, a nation event, and it was me and the Earth Sayana was the only ones that was vegan.
Wow.
And, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I want to big up to the people in the nation who accommodate us, though, because I went to the family day, you know what I mean, the day of the babies in Medina, they had the vegan options. The family day in Philly, they got the vegan food and all that. So it's getting better. You know what I mean? It's getting better. It's not like it was before where you just like, damn, man, you might as well just bring your own food. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's getting a lot better, God.
Yo, God, man, I think just the idea and the story, man, is powerful, man. Just hearing from, you know, what kind of started you on that path, you know, to now, you know what I'm saying? I feel like most of the people watching will be able to draw some inspiration from that. Also, the tips as far as, you know, how to stay focused, working on your discipline, things like meditation, clearing your mind, like all of this goes into being able to maintain that type of lifestyle and idea. You know what I'm saying? So I salute you, God.
Absolute facts, God. Thank you, God. I appreciate you, God, and I appreciate you having me too, God. And again, God, we got dead these stereotypes, God. I went to a yoga class, man, and it was a 70-year-old lady, man, that put me to shame, man. She was 70, man. And you know, God, I used to lift weights, man. I used to be like real brolic back in the day and all that, lifting heavy weights. Man, that yoga ain't no joke. So everybody would think it's soft and it's some funny style stuff. Nah, listen. 70-year-old lady, man. She was like, you'll get it. Don't worry, you'll get it. I'm like, yo, this shit was wild embarrassing, man. But it is what it is, God. But yeah, we got to stay in tune, God. Like I say, man, at this point, it ain't about a popularity contest, God. It's about doing what's right, God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's about doing what's right. You know what I mean? Word is born.
No doubt, God. And like I mentioned earlier, as far as passing down things to the babies, it's not just about passing down gold or business. Is passing down the understanding of how to live better. You know what I'm saying? Like, because everything is not just money, you know,
it's beyond that, God.
Yeah, it's
beyond that.
Be able to create new traditions that are conducive to living a longer life. You know what I'm saying?
Actual fact.
And see,
it's about this, God.
see.
It's about this.
Yeah, God, I've been
studying
the towel too. Yeah.
Word. It's about that, God.
Mm-hmm.
It's about this, God.
Wow. See.
You know what I'm saying? My queen bought me this one, but yeah, that's what it's about, man. You know what I mean?
Before we go, I think I'm glad you showed those books, right? Because I noticed that like if I lost motivation for working out or something, right? Like if I begin to read something about working out, it kind of like, oh shit, okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how important is it to not just, like you said, don't take anybody on face value, but how important is it to like study like these type of lifestyles in order to
vital, God. Yeah, it's vital. And the reason I'm saying that is because you gotta understand, God. I went 3.5 years one time without drinking alcohol. Went to an event, 3.5 years down the drain, God.
Right.
That one Corona turned into 2 Coronas. Then next thing you know, I had a couple shots of Henny. And from that point, it took me another 2 years to get back on track. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, God, you know what I mean? You got to constantly study, God. Constant elevation, God. Constantly study, because this society is not advocating what I'm doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And being around like minds too. Like I said, like how would you want to get 120? You want to be around the gods. It's the same. Like, and it is some 5%ers that are on a healthy path. I want to big them up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Word, God.
Well, God, K-Born, you know I definitely got to get you back on, man. We got
indeed, so God, let's do it, God. It can't be another power years, so we gotta put it in motion.
We gonna most definitely, God. But again, salute to you, man. The story's powerful.
Peace, God. I appreciate you. Thank you. Peace, God.